Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, but this is, to me, one of the most important things you can do to help your food taste better, especially beef. And I mean, really anything you can use this with. Eggs. We're going to be making tallow, which is basically just rendered down beef fat. So, sorry it is a little hot today. I don't have my air conditioning working, and it's like 79% humidity in here. So, but I decided to use the stove inside because I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to take all this beef fat that we took off the dry aged ribeye. I'm going to cut off all the extra little pieces of meat, and we're going to add this 1 cup of water into our pan, just enough to give the bottom of the pan, or bottom of the pot, excuse me, just a little bit of a coating of water. And we're going to start heating that up, and as I cut these up, I'm just going to toss them in the pan, and we're going to let it sit on a very low heat for probably a few hours here. Basically, we just want to render all that fat down. We're going to end up with some really tasty, crispy bits at the end. Not sure on the healthy factor of those, but they taste delicious. So I'm going to start chopping here, and we'll throw them in. Alright, so we got all our fat in here. You can see it's starting to melt down a little bit, just purely, I think, because it's so warm in here. And we got the heat on, very low heat, really low to medium low. And we're just going to let this boil down, and all that water is going to evaporate out of there. But we need to stir it every few minutes, well, probably every 15-20 minutes, just to make sure we're not burning anything. We really just want this fat to kind of melt away and leave us with that amazing beef tallow. So we'll check in a little bit and see how it's going. Alright, so we're about a half an hour in here, and you can see everything's starting to kind of, honestly, look kind of gross. But this is about where you want to sit, with a nice kind of simmer going on it. You definitely don't want this hot. This fat will burn very, very easily. But we just want to let it sit at this simmer. Again, with that water in the bottom of it, it's helping us to reduce some of that burn potential, I guess. But you can see we're starting to get a little bit of breakdown. Everything's starting to kind of jiggle up a little bit, and you can definitely tell where some of the meat got left in. That'll be harder. I mean, it basically just looks like cooked meat. So we're just going to continue to let this sit, and eventually this water will boil out, and we'll be left with just that tallow. So we're going to go for another probably few hours with this much here. So anyway, see you guys in a little while. Alright, it's been about an hour now, and you can see we are kind of getting crisped up on some of this, and we have a lot more grease in here, which is good. This is what we want, this nice, beautiful yellow liquid in here. So we'll just continue cooking and let it simmer down. Probably be another hour or two. So don't get frustrated. This is a long, drawn-out process, but the end goal is definitely worth it. So keep on keeping on. Alright, so it's been about 3 hours now, and I think we are pretty well done. So I'm going to pull this off the heat. I'm just going to let it cool down a little bit. We're going to pull all these little bits out and throw them on a plate, throw some salt on them, and just let them cool down. As I said, these are actually pretty tasty little treats, so we'll do that next. Alright, so now that we've let that cool down, I just have a little cup set up here with a coffee filter and a funnel. Really, the funnel is really only there to hold the coffee filter, but we're going to take this while it's still not seething hot, but still warm at least. And we're just going to slowly pour this in here. You want to do it in the sink because you are going to inevitably dip or drop some. We just want to fill that up and let it slowly sink through. The reason we're doing this is because if you can see the bottom of this pot right now, there is a ton of just stuff that bakes off. You get little crunchies and just burnt stuff. So we want to filter that out and get as much pure tallow out of this as possible. So I'm going to continue doing this while you guys take a break, because it does take a little while. As you can see, we're not draining very fast, but it does go by. Again, you want to do it while it's still hot, because this stuff will turn into a semi-solid by the time it's cooled off. So get it while it's hot and get it strained, and we're going to have some good stuff to cook with. See you guys in a bit. Alright, so we're waiting for that to finish doing its thing. Just going to throw a little salt on these. Now that they've cooled off a bit. And give them a try. Let's find a good one. So what basically this is, it's the leftover cells basically of the fat once it's been rendered down. With the salt on there, it's amazing. It's crunchy and the flavor is just beefy. This is one of the best second parts of doing the tallow. Tallow is useful in everything and I use it for a ton of stuff. But this is a nice little treat for a few hours worth of manning the stove. So definitely give this a try. These got a little bit burnt on me. I can tell by the color of my tallow that it got a little bit overdone, but still definitely worth it. Alright guys, as close as this looks to a delicious beer, this is not. This is pure beef tallow. So I'm going to put this in the fridge, let it cool down, and then all I do is take little scoops of it out to use for making eggs, or it's a great replacement for butter when cooking just as a lubricant. You see me use it on the brisket. It adds that extra flavor to just about anything you cook with it, and it just has just a fantastic flavor. So if you got some extra beef fat laying around, what I normally do, normally I don't have this much sitting around because of the ribeye that we did. We had a whole lot extra, but anytime I have beef trimmings or even pork trimmings too, I'll just take and set them aside, put them in a plastic bag, throw them in the freezer until I have enough of it, ready to cook up a whole batch. Because it does take time, but it is definitely worth it in my mind. So, see you guys in the next one. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below, please, of what you want me to do next. I saw green beans on there last time, so I'm working on a video to do that. Next week we will actually be camping and be live on site doing some chickens. So we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.